If I happen to be on that list, that would be very convenient. What's up everybody, Jack Dawkins here, and today we're going to be talking about pre-saves. If you are not someone who is putting out music regularly, or you do not follow any artists that have less than, 8 billion streams, you may not have heard of a pre-save. So I'm going to tell you what it is, why they're important to artists, and why I would encourage all of you to go out and pre-save the music of the artists that you love and appreciate. If I happen to be on that list, that would be very convenient. The idea of a pre-save is basically parallel to the idea of pre-sales for books. So for those of you who don't know this, when you see the New York Times bestseller list and they're adding up the numbers for how many books were sold within the first week, that number encompasses the amount of books sold that actual week, as well as every single pre-order leading up, which can go back months. I don't know if there's an actual cutoff, but I know that it can go back well before the day that the book is actually released. Then when you're looking at those first week numbers, you're like, holy smokes, they sold 500,000 books the first week, and it ends up on the New York Times bestseller list. You get to add the pretty little seal on the book. Everybody is happy. With a pre-save, the idea is very similar. Basically accumulates the number of libraries that song will end up in on the first day that it is released. It sends a signal to the Spotify algorithm that like, oh my gosh, a lot of people are interested in and engaged by this song, we should share it with more people. We, obviously being the giant, terrifying robot brain that powers all of the music we listen to all over the world. Something that is important, and if you're an artist and you're watching this, you should know this, those pre-saves are not gonna help trigger you for editorial Spotify playlist placement, because the editorial team is not actually seeing those pre-saves. Those are all gonna show up on the first day. So for you, a listener, the way a pre-save works is that you can go to what is usually a landing page or a special link for the artist or the song that you're looking for. There's a pre-save option. It will often ask you to share your email address. You do not have to, and for what it's worth, the email address is just for collecting data for the artist. So if you like the artist, you want to support them, you want to hear from them more, share your email address. If you don't, just unclick that box. It's really not a huge deal. I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, but you really don't need to share your email address if you don't want to. The more important thing is that by pre-saving the song, it shows up in your library on day one, which is awesome. Something you may not know, and a way that you can be of further support to artists that you're excited about, actually happens on the day the song is released. So you've done the pre-save, you wake up, sometimes you'll get an email either from DistroKid or from whatever software has generated that pre-save link, and it'll say like, hey, Jack Dawkins' new song, Spasmatic Asthmatic, just came out, which if it were New Year's Eve, would be true. That means that the song is going to be in your library. It'll automatically be included in the songs that you have available to listen to. But what that does not do, and what you can do in addition, is like that song, click the little green heart, or the thumbs up, whatever it is for whichever music platform you happen to be on. I'm using Spotify because that is where the vast majority of pre-saves happen. With Apple Music, it's called a pre-add. I'm sure other services have their own version. I'm talking about Spotify. That's what I use. That's where we are. Spotify will break down the source of the different streams for your music. So some of them can come from my library. I definitely stream my own music. Some of them can come from playlists generated by other users. That's an interesting category because a lot of times when you do paid playlist promotion, that's what that's gonna fall within. So for me, that's a very high category right now because a lot of my music is getting discovered through these other playlists. But you want to get plays from other users' libraries. Now again, if you go back to the pre-save adds it to your library, which means that when you stream it, you are streaming it from your library, which is super, super, super helpful. So again, to break down the whole process, you pre-save the song, it gets added to your library. Once it's in your library, if you want to be further helpful, you can give it a little heart or a thumbs up or a like or whatever it is. Those are all the different ways that you can sort of help support an artist as their song is coming out, which then helps them with marketing, which I think a lot of musicians, artists, songwriters would tell you is easily the hardest part of this because it's not what we're good at. It's not what's intuitive. We're better at creating music, and now the marketing piece is how we actually have to give that out to the world. So consider this a PSA. If you have small artists that you love and support, pre-save their music, like it once it's in your library, stream the shit out of it. I do have a new song coming out on New Year's Eve 2021 called Spasmatic Asthmatic. If you want to hear a snippet of it, you can check the notes below and you can get access to my pre-save, wink, as well as a little preview of the song to listen to. That's all for now. My name is Jack Dawkins. I will be back. I'm posting my 2022 goals at the end of this week. You don't want to miss that. So go ahead, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, put on notifications, and you'll see when that video comes out. Pa.